What's up, YouTubers, and welcome back to Tony the Technician channel. And today we're doing a must-have upgrade for a third-gen Camaro. Some Camaros from 82 to 92, depending on the model and year, came with this. It's a WonderBar, and it sits in front of the sway bar, and it basically provides extra support in between the two sides of the vehicle from left to right, and it protects against cracking by the steering box, which is common for people who like to take hard corners and stuff with these cars, maybe do some sort of racing that can be really hard on the frame of this car. So some of them came with it, some of them did not. Even if you have it, you might want to upgrade to a tubular one that's stronger, maybe a little lighter, who knows. But if you don't have it, it's definitely something to think about. It's really not all that much, anywhere from like $60 to $120 depending on which one you get and what it's made out of. Now the one I got was from Spohn, and it is adjustable. I'll show you guys it here in a second in the video, and I really hope you guys enjoy. I will show you how to install it, and everything you may need is a 13 millimeter, ratchets, wrenches, a 15/16, an adjustable wrench maybe, just to adjust the preload and everything. But I'll get into all of that, try and make it a quick video. Also, be aware, I don't have a lift at home, so I'm doing this all on the ground with my car on jack stands, and I'm trying to provide you with the best light possible, but it's kind of hard here. So just bear with me, and I hope you guys get some knowledge out of this, and maybe just think about the upgrade if you have a third-gen Camaro. Also, I won't be able to wear this mic around underneath the vehicle because I can't just drag this cable around. So if you hear some audio adjustments during the video, it's because sometimes I'll have my mic on, sometimes I won't. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let's get into this install. Don't mind the rust or any of that. It's just a little surface rust from sitting around in the garage. But first step in preparing to install your WonderBar is going to be loosening up your sway bar end links. This rod with the bushings, that's going to be your end link, and this right here is your sway bar. And down below and up top, you're going to have a nut, and it's a 13 millimeter. You just simply loosen it up. So you only have to turn it, up to where you get some play in the sway bar. But if yours has been sitting a while like mine, it's just gonna turn the entire shaft. So you're gonna want to take another ratchet or wrench and hold the bottom underneath the A-arm down here, and then just go ahead and simply loosen the top. And you can use an impact on this, but not if you have a baby sleeping inside, so be aware of that. It's just some paint that I'm running into from when I put undercoating on everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some WD-40 on here, let it sit for a little bit, and you're gonna do the exact same thing to the other side until you get some play in here, just until you can move it around a little bit. And then we'll get underneath and we'll remove the actual sway bar bushings, and I'll show you how to install the WonderBar. Okay, so now that we have the end links loosened, which is back up here in the fender well, you're going to come down to these bushings. There's going to be one on each side. This is the passenger side, and you're going to loosen and remove this bolt and this bolt holding the bushing in. They should be 15 millimeter. You can loosen this one and then loosen the other side and then kind of drop it at the same time. If you don't have enough pressure relieved off your end links, then this will tend to swing down, so just be aware of that. But if you have them loosened, it shouldn't be that bad. But once you get these out, which I will do right now, once again, got the same thing on the other side, right here on the driver's side, 15 millimeter. Those are going to be the 4 bolts that you're going to remove, and the WonderBar is actually going to sit above this bushing and below the frame of the car. So I'll show you all that now. Okay, so I do want to state before we go ahead and get this thing installed that some of the WonderBars are made for certain years. This one is supposed to be universal, so it should fit mostly all years. But just be aware when you purchase one, whether you get this one or another style, that it does only fit certain years, except for one model out there is universal to all of them. So the side marked with R, or the 3 holes, that's going to be the side that mounts on the passenger side. and the side with 2 holes is going to be the side for the driver's side. Now if you're having a problem lining these holes up and getting the bolt started, it may be necessary to loosen these 2 jam nuts and rotate your center nut or bolt in order to make this longer or shorter to get the holes lined up. Once you get them lined up and you get the bolts started, you can get it mounted, and then you can go 1 full turn on that, no more, and then lock down your jam nuts, and that'll set the preload. But I'm gonna go ahead and go down there and remove the sway bar bushings, and we can get this thing installed. So once again, I apologize for the audio. It's just a little hard to roll around under here with the microphone on and attached to the phone. I did soak these in WD-40 for about 10 minutes, and then I used my 1/2-inch ratchet with 15mm to break them loose. Now we're just gonna go in here. We're gonna pull these basically all the way out, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. And that's where we're gonna leave it for now. We're gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side, and then we'll slowly remove all 4 bolts and let this sway bar hang down. So I've removed the other side, now we're just gonna slowly remove this side. Okay, now I just slightly pulled down on the sway bar and it's free. So we're just gonna slowly let this hang down. The hardware provided, it's going to be 15mm as well, and it's gonna be the same length as your original hardware. So if your hardware is still good, don't worry about ordering it. It is only $6, so I went ahead and ordered it with it, and I'm gonna install it. So, like I showed you before, this is the left driver's side. This is the passenger side with 3 holes down here. And I simply just took a couple of the bolts and located them up here with the WonderBar just to make sure everything lined up, seemed fine. And these holes are slotted, so you do have a little bit of movement left and right to adjust. Other than that, it's a very simple process. So I shouldn't have to loosen this, but we'll see as we start to raise this. The part that's going to be difficult is really holding the sway bar up and the WonderBar and getting the bolts started by hand. But once I do that, I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then we'll tighten them up. Also be aware that the tangs go back, passenger side, 3 holes, and this is going to sit in front of the sway bar. So it'll be closer to the radiator than your sway bar is, so keep that in mind. So I've got all 4 bolts started by hand. Same thing on the other side. And they're still loose. And there's plenty of room cut out or slotted in the WonderBar to really get your bolts lined up. So it's really not that bad. Now we're just gonna go ahead and snug it up. And I believe they need to be torqued to 25 foot-pounds. It does not say in the instructions, but I'm gonna go ahead, snug them up, and then we'll come back, I'll torque them down, and then it's simply just tightening up your sway bar end links, and you may need to set the car on the ground, load it on the wheels in order to do so to get the proper torque on them. But other than that, it's a really simple process. And we're gonna just slowly do each one of these a little bit at a time. Now I'm gonna go to the other side and do the exact same thing, just slowly. Alright, so those are snugged up. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my torque wrench, and I'm just going to simply torque them. My torque wrench set to 25 foot-pounds. Do that to all 4. Alright, now that's set at 25 foot-pounds. And now we're gonna set the preload. So we're gonna loosen our 2 jam nuts. But either way, you gotta come in, loosen these jam nuts. Come on. There we go. Back that off a little bit. Now remember, one's gonna be a reverse thread. All right, now you're gonna rotate this one full turn at most, just until you feel it gets snug. Gonna go a little bit further from here and call it good. Right there is about good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up my jam nuts. And you can actually throw some thread locker on here as well after you loosen them, just in case you don't want them coming loose again. But that's it, simple as that. Now the only part that you have left to do is go back to each one of your sway bar end links and tighten them up. So just in case you couldn't really see from below, here's a quick look at the top and how it'll mount. There's the sway bar in black, WonderBar in red, obviously. And it mounts same spots on both sides. That's it right there. So it turned out pretty good. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, YouTubers, so that's the install of the Spohn WonderBar, adjustable WonderBar for preload. So really, it's not too much, like $20 extra, I believe, for the adjustable portion. Also, information on that, the adjustable bolt or center nut is going to be at 15/16. And then as far as the jam nuts, I just used an adjustable monkey wrench. So simple as that. The only other thing you'll need is, like I said, the 15mm for the sway bar bushings, 13mm I believe for the end links, and a torque wrench so you can torque all your bolts at the end to make sure everything's safe. No sense in doing a project and leaving stuff loose or over tightening it and breaking it. So make sure to do all of that and you should be good. I hope the audio wasn't too bad. I am obviously wearing my mic right now, but underneath the car it's just kind of a pain in the butt to pull around a long cable. So either way, I really hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.